Okay, brilliant.
Okay, so Maokai into Jax. It's not like an awful matchup. Obviously, he outscales you, but you can just farm it out early game, and I think you actually do pretty well into him early. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how are you gonna play this game out?
So the laning phase, I was thinking I'm just gonna sit back, chill out a little bit and farm because there's no way that I can trade into. I can't out push him really, um, unless I want to waste a load of mana. So I can't pressure him at all. So I'm just gonna sit back farm. Um, I know that he's gonna scale a lot more than me, but it's this game I was just planning on playing team fights a lot better than him.
Mm-hmm.
And just playing a team fight and trying to engage and force something when he's trying to split push, so we constantly be in like a 5v4 situation. Um, but I just played the team fights horribly.
Okay. Uh, so if you're playing for team fights, then we shall take a look specifically at the team fights for the most part. But in terms of your early laning, it went well. Like there's no issues with the laning phase for besides your farm, as you mentioned earlier.
My farming, yeah, it was just a bit shaky. I can't remember him ever really like he never really had kill pressure over me. But
Mm-hmm.
that's also because there was not much interaction between the junglers or mid laners in the lanes at all. I think he gets one kill on me when we go for a gank and I sort of overextend myself a little bit
Okay.
to try and make sure we confirm get the kill. But I should have stayed back, but you'll see that later. Um, my item build this game was also a bit weird. I sort of prioritized the whole team fight engage aspect a bit too much.
Did
Um,
you do you think Doran's ring might have been better, or do you really feel like you need Doran's shield into Jax?
yeah, that's yeah. Doran's ring could have been good because it would have been I could push a little bit more and get more mana back. But
See, from my
sort of
understanding of the matchup with Maokai Jax, is you can actually kind of pressure him early, because if he ever tries to trade onto you, you can just queue him away,
yeah.
and then you can just poke him down. Like, but because yeah, so right here you don't want to go into melee of Jax like that, like because then he's just gonna engage. So and on yeah, don't even bother hitting these melees. So like right here, you're just stepping up way too far for no reason. Like this wave's gonna push to you anyway. Like what's the
Mhm.
point of you like just like you're just putting yourself into a position to just get out traded. If you
Mhm.
just position a bit further back, like see, look, even with that, you get a good trade off on him. I don't really think you need Doran Shield in this matchup,
Okay.
unless like you're really afraid that he's gonna play aggro or there's gonna be a lot of top lane pressure. But it's Maokai. I mean, it's Hecarim. He's not really gonna have the chance to gank you. Right here, you can just constantly look to poke him with Q, and like you can
Mhm.
actually get a pretty strong lane advantage. See, like right here, like what can he even do?
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but
Me
you,
stepping up a little bit
yeah,
more as well. Like it can be fine if I just make sure that I do have to be really, really careful. I do step into melee phase, but melee
yeah,
range. Sorry. Because as long as I keep my Q angled in the right position, I can just knock him away so that he can't
exactly.
trade onto me. But I
Um,
stepped way too far up there.
I also don't think Aftershock is that good. I think you should take Grasp, in
Yeah, yeah,
melee.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was kind of just experimenting this game.
that's fair.
Um, but like after this game and the way that I played with it, I just thought it did feel really, really weak. I was
Yeah,
mainly taking it because of like the increased resistances that I thought would be really strong when we got to the team fights. But
yeah,
especially in like a melee versus melee matchup, Grasp would have been
yeah.
better
I
in this
think you take
example.
Grasp here and you take Doran's Ring and you win this lane really easily early with how the way this lane should have gone. I don't
Mhm.
think Jack should even be allowed to push you in and get a free back like that, because he has to go into the minion wave, trade super aggressively with his E, and you can just back off and disengage with Q. And now he has no way to trade onto you, because if he tries to Q in on you without his E, you just W him, you just auto him, you just Q him again because your Q is on a shorter cooldown, and he loses the trade.
Mhm.
So while this lane is like fine for Jax, uh, you actually have a pretty good early laning phase into him. Unless you really fuck up the level one where he like gets a really good just auto trade off on you with his E. So
Mhm.
I think you played it a bit too conservatively and you let him get a lane push, and then here,
He
I don't even,
manages to
yeah,
freeze it quite well.
you
Yeah.
need to like Honestly, I think you should just back after that wave bounce from tower and then just gone into lane. Like, so after you catch this wave,
So not
you need to just back and then, because if you either back here and go back into lane before it can like freeze really deep, or you hard shove this out and commit to shoving out the next wave.
yeah, I should have just stayed for the next wave, I think.
Because here, like, well, you need to also just be constantly autoing. You're trying way too hard to last hit everything. And
Okay.
now this is frozen. Like, I think you just back before this for other wave. Because
Okay.
I don't actually think you can push this wave out without Jax killing you. So you should just
Hmm.
back, and then I honestly think you just TP back into lane. Like that, this early at 4 minutes, a TP is not really that bad. It's after that where you just want to hold on to your teleport. But now you're just fucked in lane because he's just got a really good freeze off on you.
Mm.
Um, and like you're just now in a really difficult spot to play the lane out. In all honesty, I think you could have
What
just.
time? What time abouts? Do you, obviously, I suppose it depends like what your team wants to do in terms of like if we want to take dragons and stuff. But like, what sort of minute would you say is like
Don't think of it
too
like
late?
minutes. Think of it as timings for your ability, your team to make something happen. So
Okay.
first off, you're never gonna do anything this early in the game, and yeah, it's got like a what? It's got a 5 minute cooldown.
Hmm.
So you won't be able to make a play with TP until around 10 minutes, which is fine if you communicate that with your team and everyone understands that. And then that's roughly around like the earliest time you usually make bot lane plays is around 8ish minutes. So it's really not that bad if you can coordinate that with your team and tell them, okay, just wait 2 more minutes. And you'll often see a lot in competitive play that the first teleport that most top laners use is just to get back into lane. They don't really hold on to it, um,
Hmm.
because you're not really going to do anything this early.
Mm. I think I like earlier on with the push with the minions as well. I think over I overvalued backing when cannon minion's going to be coming into you because the reason that you like wait for a cannon minion is because if the wave's going to push into your tower,
It's going to
it
take
can
longer
soak
to
up a
kill
lot
the
of damage.
cannon, yeah.
But like the cannon minion wasn't even going to hit my wave because of the way that the lane was pushing. So yeah, that was just dumb.
Yeah, I think you got into the mindset with this lane that I'm just farming and I'm just going to play it safe, but you're just not utilizing what your champion can do either. At that point, you're playing too conservatively.
Right.
And then here, Jax could have frozen this and just forced you to like, and just said, okay, Maokai is gonna be constant, has to play around here. And I'm just gonna keep the wave frozen here. And the second he shows up, he communicates with his Hecarim, just come top, and he's a free kill. They
Mm.
didn't do that, and he actually ended up pushing it out for some reason. I don't really know why. Uh, Poor lane management on his part as well. But you could have actually been in a lot more difficult position. You're really lucky he didn't just try to freeze it and get a gank off.
Mm.
And then I don't like this Ruby Crystal boot buy. Like, I don't know why you, again, I don't know why you don't just get a Doran's ring or something and then just get pots. Because you're gonna run
Okay.
out of mana again. What do boots really do in this matchup at all? And
It's
then
I was trying to.
you have
Sorry.
no potions either in a lane where he has corrupting. So if he just tries to trade against you, you're like actually just screwed because he's just gonna out sustain you. I don't know how he used two corrupting potions already, but like you can just play this lane really aggressively now because you actually don't really have a great way to deal with his sustain. So yeah, but what were you saying? Why did you buy boots?
I was buying boots because I wanted to try and get like an early ninja tabi. But as soon as I realized that I wasn't going to be able to build it, I shouldn't have taken the boots. So in that situation, when I was going to just TP, because the reason that I bought the boots as well is because I knew that I was going to walk to lane, even though that was the wrong decision. Um, but if I just TP'd, could have gotten Doran's ring, a few pots, that would have been the optimal thing to do at that point in time.
Yeah. I think
Yeah. Okay.
again, you're not respecting this guy's engage. Like, what are you doing? Like, you could just
Yeah.
farm this with your Q And if he tries to trade into your creep wave, you can just back off and you might take some damage. You're literally walking into it, and then you cue him the wrong way, and he just gets a good trade off on you.
Mm.
And now that you don't have potions, and you don't have a Doran's ring, you're low on mana. Um, oh, you have biscuit. Interesting. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. So actually, you do have some form of consumable,
Yeah.
which is fine. But like, see, look how bad of a position you're in. And again, this is something that maybe not in this game they can do. I should actually turn off vision so we don't cheat. But right now, you don't really understand what can happen to you top. You could get dove, or you can just essentially you're just losing this lane right now. I think Jax is honestly farming pretty bad, but
Yeah.
you're actually like there's zero pressure on this Jax, and this is actually getting to become a really scary part of the game because if they try to force a play top, you could potentially die here, and then this Jax just starts snowballing. You don't have a good way to deal with him. You shouldn't go for that trade without knowing where Hecarim is, because if you
Yeah.
go in on that, he kills you instantly.
The
And then
reason that I did it was because I thought I'd be able to knock him into tower, but I really miscalculated.
yeah, so I mean, you don't know where Hecarim is. He could be going like I know you saw him over here just like 45 seconds ago, but he could have legit just ran top, um, and is ready to E onto you when you go in for this trade, and then you're trying to queue him into tower. Hold on.
Yeah, because mid lane and jungler said that they were
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up, so I wanted to make sure that he was low enough.
Well, why do you need to get him low? Like he's already
Yeah,
50%.
sorry. Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, that's just a miscalculation there. And then you just went in way too early.
If I'd saved my Q there, I probably would have actually lived.
Yeah, you would have lived. So whatever, you trade 1 for 1. I think there's a quite a bit of some mechanical misplay there, but it ended up
Yeah.
working out kinda. Um, but now this is when the lane starts getting pretty hard because he got Sheen back and you've just got ninjas and again I guess no potions. So he's just gonna start being able to out trade you because he does now like pretty much 50-50 magic and AD. So you're just gonna have to survive the lane, but since you have no potions and whoa, what the hell was that?
It was. I think it was because Hecarim was taking the blue buff, and we saw Orianna moving down towards. So the Azir was going to collapse in. So we thought we were going to TP, but then, like literally as soon as I TP'd, Hecarim backed out of it, and then we. That was a miscommunication. I cancelled a bit too early because we should have just got. I should have just TP'd and we would have gone on the Orianna and probably gotten a kill. Um, but that was me being a bit too safe with my TP cancel because I could have just wait. I don't know whether did I wait the full duration actually. Sorry, can we go back? Don't know if I waited the full duration
No,
before I
hold
could have
on, let's
cancelled.
see. You almost did, yeah. You canceled at the last
Yeah, okay,
second.
yeah, never mind. I did. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of miscommunication's fine since this was a trial game and you don't really know. Um,
Yeah,
you guys aren't quite on the same page quite yet.
they're all German as well, so it's hard to tell the difference between them.
Okay. So whatever. So now you just farm this lane out. That's fine. There's not too much. Like I think your early laning could have been a lot better. I don't actually think this Jax was that good. And I think you could have
No.
actually won this lane pretty hard. Your CSing there needed some work, but you already mentioned that to me. Um, biggest issue so far is just I think your itemization was a bit wonky. I think if this Jax played this lane a lot better than he did, you would have been really fucked. If he communicated with his jungler, you could have been in a lot of trouble. Uh,
Mm.
like most important thing for top laners to understand is lane management. So I think you actually put yourself in a really dangerous position when you got this wave frozen at this point. If Jax was smart and was playing with a good jungler, he just freezes it here. You have to walk into lane through here or like walk in through here to get wards, and then either Hecarim's there and they just zone you off the wave and you're even further behind, or you don't do this and you go just to lane to try to push it out and you die to a gank. Either way, you're just fucked in this position. So it was pretty silly for Jax to just shove the wave out, but you
Yeah.
really need to be aware of your lane management. And I think you can be a bit more like I'd encourage you to watch some competitive competitive games for and see how top laners typically use their first teleport to just get into lane.
Hmm.
Because that just gives you a massive tempo advantage, and you can. And here you're playing disrespectfully, man. Like you're stepping way too far up. When you know the wave is pushing towards you. So like look at him. He's not even trying to hold the wave or slow push it. Like he's not denying you any CS, and you just like walk up and start hitting minions. When like you can just let this guy shove the wave. It's not like you're gonna win the lane anymore. Um, and then just catch the farm with your Q. But
Hmm.
you're stepping up to auto, and you're just taking really shitty trades. Like that was entirely because you stepped up to auto a minion that wasn't even low, and like now you're at 40%.
Hmm.
And again, see, like you just farm with your Q when the wave's pushing towards you. You're taking way too much damage for no reason. I think he's gonna die to this gank here. Uh, but oh, that's a lot of CC, isn't it? All right. So luckily your team reacted. But if their team reacted, their Hackram has done anything this game, or even if you just had a ward and just backed off, you just are in like you're gonna be in permanent threat of getting dove, right? So
Yeah.
you need to be more mindful of your trading.
Hmm.
So you go Bramble, okay, I think that's alright. And you get a
I saw that he was going for the. Never mind.
what you thought he was
I
going
think that
to
was.
the Tiamat build?
I think that was later on. No, it's
Yeah.
because I saw him. This is like later on. This like influenced my item decisions, but I saw him go Cutlass.
Yeah, I think Bramble's fine. What you can try to do here is just try to yeah, okay, that's a bit better. Like you don't need
Yeah,
to hard
I
shove the
wanted to
lane.
get rid of the range ones.
Yeah. I mean, you've got teleports. You can like you don't need to quite hard shove this lane now. You can force this guy to overextend a bit. Maybe try to collapse on him, like right here. Once this wave crashes, you can just try to freeze it and force him to come up the push. You can say, Ivern, look, like their Jax is right here. We just killed him. We know he doesn't have flash. Come bot, we just CC lock him again. We maybe get a kill. You don't need to necessarily clear this out. You have teleport to make a play on the cross map, so there's no like pressure on you to shove this, right? So I think you should just try to be a bit more mindful of your lane management. It's really important as a top laner.
Okay.
Like every time you're doing anything with a lane, think about it. So you can either freeze a lane, or you can shove a lane, or you can slow push a lane. So freezing it obviously is if you have no option to make a play on the map, or you have teleport so you can always react, you should always try to freeze, right? Because that just means that you're safely farming. It means that their top laner has to overextend, and it means you're also denying CS and XP. So in that situation where you can freeze it here, you have teleport, you have wards, you knew Ivern was around here. You also saw Hecarim, and if they try to make a play topside, you can react with teleport. Um, like you have
At,
options, like you can just freeze it. But
at what point does it become dangerous to play and freeze too close to my turret? Is it so if Ivan's on the other side of the map, for example?
well, so
Um,
let's say Ivern's on the opposite side of the map, and you don't know where Hecarim is, and you think they can 2v1 dive you, then you need to just clear the wave out, right? Because if
yeah.
you can't freeze because either they just push it and they take the tower, or you don't think you can handle the Jax if he shows up. So like that's different. But when you had Ivern here, and I don't really think there was ever a threat of you getting dove. Like honestly, you should be using your pink ward and just dropping it here, so you're safe from jungle ganks. And then you can just freeze it, and then when he wants to push it, he can push it. But he has to overextend, and then you can just catch it under tower if you have to. But I don't really. The thing is, if you push this out and go here, you're in even more danger of getting ganked by Hecarim if he wants to come. If you didn't notice that you actually saw him on vision here, because he was trying to loop around to get you when you're catching that wave. He's right here. Luckily, your Ivern was here too. So it's actually like a pretty bad position to put yourself in this lane, especially in this position, especially since Jax is ahead of you, and if he catches you in a long lane, he might be able to run you down, right?
Mm.
So just think about it like in this case of if you're not in threat of getting dove and you don't have to clear the wave out, and you're not worried about this Jax roaming and like diving mid or top without you being able to react, then you should just freeze it. And that goes with any lane match up top, right? Like if you can freeze the lane, you don't lose anything unless what you're losing is that top laner gets the ability to roam and you can't match it or you can't predict it. Or you lose the ability to harass or like take a tower, right? So let's say you're playing Gnar, you don't really want to freeze it because you want to be harassing them on their tower and taking the tower. But as Maokai, like you're never going to harass on their tower, you might as well just freeze it, force them to overextend and just set up a gank. Or make them play super conservatively. See, now look at you, right? Like he sees that you're overextended and he's just trading because you're so far away from your tower. Honestly, I don't think he tried to find the all in, he couldn't. But you get you get the meaning behind what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And like even with this, like you could have been playing that entire laning phase like this with the Doran's ring. And just winning, because like even now you're doing actually okay into him, considering that you're pretty behind in this matchup. You're 1-1-1, but once Jax gets levels, it's really hard for you to deal with his damage, right? Because he's just AP and AD.
I think it's also that I sort of just more got the hang of the getting the angles right for my Q as well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it took me so long to actually get that right, considering my amount of games on Maokai and the amount of games I've probably played against the Jax.
Yeah, this matchup is really not that bad. Like until it gets later. I think early game you actually do you pressure him. So anyway, so those were some minor points. I think like mainly the biggest thing right now I want you to just focus on would be lane management in the future. Because like lane mechanics and stuff, sure, I think you misplayed it, like the lane. And that's pretty important, but lane management applies to every matchup, to every champion. So it's really important you understand when should I push a lane out, when can I just leave and TP back, when should I freeze it, when should I slow push it, and that's the stuff that you have to think about. Especially in competitive, slow pushes are way more important, because let's say you're not a split pusher, you are Maokai, and you don't really want to just be set in a lane against the Jax. You want to set up a split push so you can pressure somewhere else, and so Jax can't actually safely farm the wave either. So yeah, if you're like a tank player, or you're just gonna be playing tanks in this meta because of resolve tree and everything, you should get in the habit of understanding how to control a lane.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look up quite a few videos if I can find them.
Yeah, I mean the videos are nice, and just think about it, right? Like, what's the point? What are you gonna do with this lane? Like with this wave, rather. Am I gonna be diving a tower with my bot lane, then I try to set up a slow push so more creeps show up? Am I just trying to reset the lane, then I just fast push it? Am I just trying to survive, then I look for a freeze if I can? But never just be randomly autoing minions or just randomly pushing out like the next wave just because like you want to, unless you need the gold for an item. So otherwise, there's not much going on. You've got teleports. You have to be coordinating with your team on like, okay, guys, I'm constantly under pressure from this Jax. I can't really do anything. We need to look for a play. So obviously this is a trial, so comms and shot calling is going to be a bit different. But like, that's the way you win this game, right? As Maokai, it's not staying in this lane. It's saying, okay, we need to teleport and make team plays. You can also talk to your jungler and say, you know, this guy's overextending. Like, let's try to make a play on him before they can make something happen. And you're stepping up too far again. Like, just let the wave come to you, dude. Look how low you get because you just like stepped up when the wave was coming to you already.
Mm.
Like he's hard shoving it. Nothing's gonna kill this creep. What are you doing?
No idea.
Yeah, like stop doing that. You're ignoring him to get CS, which is like not even important on your champ. And now you lost the ability to look for a teleport because you're so low, and he's got you under tower. Um, because like yeah, you want to teleport, but if he's got you to 20%, you can't even TP.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know what. That's not
Yeah, it's
worth.
dumb.
But okay, so what elo is this Jax?
I think he's like D3. He was like the worst player on their team as
Okay,
well,
yeah, he's not very
unfortunately.
good. Yeah. Um, I think you really could have shut this guy down early, but he's got a free laning phase instead, and now he's winning. And there's nothing you can really do. Um, yeah, again, you don't know. You don't look for this. Wow, he actually is fucking trolling. Okay, well, that shouldn't have actually worked. It did. Good job. Um, or does it? Okay. So you need to play it a bit slower and say I'm waiting on Azir because you two cannot 1v1 him. I mean 2v1 him rather. Right? So you just wait because like if he'd played this better or if he just disengaged this instead of like full chimping or going under tower, I think you're actually dead. Like this was just a waste of time and they can make a cross map play. Just be a bit more patient. But whatever. It's fine. You got the kill. Um,
Okay.
and they waste Herald. So that's actually really good for you guys. You're down 2k, but you've got your Righteous Glory, you've got TP, you've got this wave pushed out. This is where you have to be communicating again, like guys, just go top, look at this wave, look top, and I'm just gonna teleport. We gotta make something happen so we can get like a bigger advantage in this game. Because I'm gonna push this wave out. Jax is just gonna catch it, and I'm gonna be holding my dick doing nothing. So let's force a dive top.
That's yeah, that's what I was communicating, and then I think for some reason I was like, okay, they've just got a pick for nothing. I'm just gonna go bot. Just push the wave out and try and get a tower because no one's coming to defend this. I thought, and then I'll TP if they need me. But you'll see now, like Oriana turns up and I have zero magic resist, so I just get
Yeah,
fucked. I
yeah.
think, I think I can't remember. Okay, we'll watch what happens.
So
I don't think I react as fast as I
yeah,
should to
so
this
right
Orianna at
now
all.
you should just be playing like you should be playing down here, because I actually agree that you can try to pressure this tower, but you don't know where Ori is and she can kill you, and so you
Yeah,
can't walk up like this to get the entire creep wave.
yeah,
This is a minor point, but it got you caught and it got you killed, so
yeah,
it's nothing else to it. You just got caught because you overextended. And even though your team got a free pick, they didn't have mid priority for it, so they lost mid too. Um, so yeah. If
yeah.
anything, you might have just wanted to move mid and try to defend the tower, but you wouldn't have gotten anything. I think you just had to play a bit more safely with that wave. I actually think you
Yeah.
going bot was fine, because I don't actually think you could have defended this tower at all. But I don't know what your teammates are doing either. I guess they're trying to defend the tower that's already gone. But you get caught, die, you guys don't even get top tower. It's pretty bad actually, considering you got a free pick.
Mm.
And now that you're dead, you can't teleport to this fight. So that's
Yeah.
really unfortunate. um,
I think now it's just there are. I think there's a team fight where we kind of win because we managed to peel the carries correctly, but then there's like just really badly timed
you need
engages,
to buy
like
more pink wards and
from
use
things.
them,
You know what I
dude.
mean?
You need to buy pinks every back, and you need to be using them frequently.
Mm.
You have an open slot, you had 300 gold, you should just buy a pink. That's fundamental basic stuff. If you're like above D1, you should be doing that on every back.
Okay.
So yeah, so here it's whatever you're just holding. Again, you just say, okay, we just gotta look for TP play or a collapse on Jax when he overextends. That's our two options.
I think a lot of the time here, I don't want him to. Oh, I will just go over that in a sec, I guess. But like, I don't want him to go into the tower because I feel there's not. He can free hit the tower like quite a few times, I reckon. And eventually take it.
So I mean, this is fine. If he can't trade into you when you're clearing these waves out, or he's not willing to, then it's fine for you to clear before it gets to tower.
Yeah.
That's not an
Just
issue.
don't go in for the really, really dumb trade. Well, not even trades, but just really disrespectful.
Yeah, where you're just trying to get
walking in.
CS instead of like
Yeah.
respecting him. So that TP was on like it sucked you didn't have a better place, but it was fine. I think the TP was on point, on time. You should be flashing out, not trying to go in.
Yeah, I overestimated how tanky I was, and then
You would have won this fight if you flashed out and re-engaged.
okay,
Cause look at this.
I just get
If
knocked
you
up, I
flash
get knocked
out
up
the
by
second your bind goes out, and then you reestablish like your CDs, and they have to use their CDs to get onto Zaya. And like, see, like right now, if you flash back and then he goes in, she ults like this, and you just wait for this E to go down, and you double U onto him, he's dead. You heal up with your passive, and you can actually probably win this fight. But instead, because you just kind of inted it instead of using your flash, they don't have a front line, and they actually win this. Also, you should go for the MR route before the CDR route.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
That's I just made that change.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the issue with going Bramble is like you are so squishy against AP damage. But I think
it also kind of. Sorry, carry on.
No, finish your point.
I was gonna say it kind of screws. It's a good thing that I got it before. Like, if the Jax was like a much better player and he did punish me for the shit way I played,
Yeah.
like he would have been able to get a lot more hybrid damage before, and I would have been even worse off because I wouldn't have had enough time to get some magic resist.
Yeah, I honestly think you're lucky this guy was D3 because I think against like a better Jax player you would have been like 0-4 at this point.
Yeah.
I think don't build this Ruby Crystal and just get pink words, please. Just it's
Okay.
so much more valuable. Like
at what so what sort of item gold?
Well, I mean, if it's not a base component, then sure you can just not have a slot. But past like 30 minutes, if you've got full items, actually 25 minutes, just sell your Doran's item and just get a pink word slot. Honestly,
Okay.
just pink words are like you need pink words. That's not even a debate. So yeah, just like at this point, you've got no pressure on him. He's just gonna keep taking a shit. Or what? He's just gonna. Okay, never mind. I guess he's giving you pressure. Okay, that's odd that he's letting you push out. Yeah, so at this point, like in terms of your individual play, it's hard for you to do anything. Like if this was solo queue, it'd be a lot easier to go over it, but just as like, sorry, excuse me.
That's right.
In a competitive environment, there's just not as many openings. So in solo queue, we could have been doing a lot more here. But like in terms of your early laning, you should have actually been able to win this lane. Should have gone Doran's Ring, in my opinion. I'm not too sure on that. You're a better player than me, and you're like the Maokai guy. So if
I
you
used
think
to be. Sorry, carry on. No.
so, if you think Doran's shield is better into Jax, then that's fine, I guess. But in my eyes, I think you just win trades if you go Grasp and you go Doran's Ring, and you play a bit more carefully around your Q, and you don't waste your time. Like you don't just int trades by walking into him and then meleeing creeps when like you don't have to.
Yeah.
You play around your CDs, and there's actually very little Jax can do in the early game before he gets enough sustain and hybrid damage to actually trade against you. Instead, you didn't do that and you lost lane pressure. You played the lane management pretty poorly. That could have been punished a lot harder. But after this point, um, I guess we'll just look at team fights because in terms of the 1v1 or what you can really do, it's just using pink wards. You bought a pink ward, please use it.
I think I move it up to the bush up there in 2 seconds. Yeah, I think I'm doing that. Well, yeah, I was about to do that and then.
Okay. Yeah. So you should have done that the first time you got down here too when you had a pink ward previously. Um, don't really
Okay, never
understand.
mind.
I don't understand that sapling at all. It doesn't do anything.
It
Either.
was because if I didn't want to step up too close to the bush first of all,
Okay. Okay.
and if they were waiting in the bush, then that sapling would have stopped them from engaging on me.
Okay, that's fair. No, you're right. So here I think you drop your pink ward here, like instead of just slow farming. And this is a situation where you should be pressuring this. Like this is now where you don't want to freeze it.
Right.
Because you want this Jax to show up back in the bot lane because you don't know where he is. You have no map vision, so they could be just rushing Baron while you freeze it here. Early game, they can't do anything, right? Like, you have vision, you know where Jax is, but here you have no idea where he is. You have no idea what's going on. Just shove this lane out so you can group with your team. You don't want to freeze it here, and you should drop your fucking pink ward. Yeah, force him to react to your wave. Oh no. Alright, so let's see what happens. So here, I think, yeah, like, you can just leave now. You've got a slow push building up. That's fine. He's here to catch the wave. You kind of get caught. You kind of don't. And then they get
I wanted
into
to go up
random
anyway because I
fight.
saw that
Yeah.
the fight was going on. So at this point, I just wanted to keep him here because I didn't want him to jump on the carries.
Well, no, that's totally fine. You trading yourself for Jax is okay here. Especially since it seems like your team's winning. Uh, or are they?
No, I don't think. I can't remember what happens now.
You kind of won it? Yeah, you did win it. Okay, so I mean, it was close, but you kind of got it going. Can probably just take this tower here and then reset. Do you like normally shot call on teams, or do you just kind of just, you tell me what to do, I'll do it kind of
I'm
shtick?
too fucking dumb for that shit.
Okay, so it's just, tell me what to do and
I
I'll
some
fucking do
I
it.
some
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sometimes go like monkey band, gorilla scream when I go in
Okay, okay. Well,
because I normally play like so like when I play Ornn or Maokai, I'm normally like saying if I find a good opportunity to go in, which I did not find this game. My engages this game were pretty terrible. I think you're about to see one of them.
yeah, you can't engage onto a morgue, first of all. Like, you have to understand as an engage like someone that plays engage champs, like when you can and cannot engage. And I think everyone that's played a tank has played that game where you just fucking full go aggro for no reason. Like that.
Like, yeah,
Um,
this.
where's
I
your
didn't.
team?
Yeah, I didn't look. I like. I knew exactly as well. Like probably like 2 seconds after I went in, I was like, "Oh fuck! Look at the mini weapons. Zaya's fucking there. Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, and just more
Um,
important, like you don't even have your flanks covered. Like you've got this vision, but it's just you've split up so hard. You don't know where Zaya is. You don't know where their teammates are. Like, uh,
yeah.
yeah. Okay,
This
so
is like. This is like the
this lost
way
you the
that loses
game.
us the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was full chimp. Hecarim's pretty chimpanzee too. Honestly, I think Hecarim just not that good this patch. But anyway,
I think after this, there's like. No. I think there's like
so
two
they're
more
trying
team
to
fights after
collapse
this.
on the Jax, but okay, you get the Earth Drake. You force TPs. Should ult here. Ult to keep them in the pit, okay? And then yeah, I think you should have just gone in, dude. Like onto the Hecarim while he was rooted. He was a free
It's
kill.
just it's lagging 2 seconds. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's my bad, I guess.
No, it's alright.
Um,
I'm trying to like watch what's going on, but
so just root him.
yeah.
Like if you had rooted him immediately before that wore off, you actually just kill him there.
Actually, well, yeah. Especially if I did manage to root him as well, and he ulted there, he probably would have altered me into their entire team. I could have queued and then kept them all there.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
and now yeah, you can't really engage here. So that was odd.
yeah. I just played really bad this game.
Um, you guys go mid. You try to push mid in. Yo, what the fuck is going on? Why are you? Did they say they were looking to engage or what? Or did you just go in without saying anything?
I can't remember at the time.
Okay, well, if he said he's going in, you need to be stepping up further up to threaten the dive. Like, you need to be moving up, like, to here, past this tower line.
I was kind of worried that like, cause and then it does happen later on where because I couldn't see Jax, so I thought he would wrap round and then try and jump on the carries, which he did.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on the call, right? Like, it doesn't matter if that's the situation, you
Yeah,
follow the call. So like, if this was communicated, you should have been stepping up further. If it wasn't, which I don't think it was, considering everyone else is back here, um,
right.
this is just a terrible play from Rakan, honestly. Um, and yeah, there wasn't like you should just be backing off here, not looking to engage. So again, this is more of a team issue than an individual issue, but like you guys got the objective here. I don't know what the calls were, if you're saying to go in, if they're saying to back off, but the call should be just to back off. You got what you wanted. They have Baron. It's hard for you to push into him. Like, don't go in here. You kind of baited your team to going back in, and like, look at this. Zaya just died, and probably think Ivern's gonna die too. Oh no. What is this fiesta of a game, man? Alright.
And then this is fucking dumb.
Yeah, and you
Fucking wanted
flash.
to kill myself after
So
that one.
even if you get that kill and you don't die for it, is it
Yeah, it's
worth?
not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I knew as soon as I fucking did it.
Yeah. I mean, this is just a trial game, so I can't like in terms of those team fight calls, I don't know what was going on there, but in terms of your
Yeah.
individual play, mainly you want to focus on that early laning because it's really bad.
Mm.
Like this mid and late game stuff, there were some minor mistakes in terms of your team fighting and stuff, but that's like so much of that is built on team play, especially
Right.
as a tank. Like I don't know, like what do you want me to tell you about? Like okay, at 25 minutes, this is how you win lane against Jax as Maokai. No, right? Like there's
No.
nothing to do. You can't do that. So, it's more
Yeah.
about team play. You can't be pushing this wave though when they're sieging. You don't have teleport.
Yeah.
You need to if best like the second you see them mid, like you need to be running. Like fuck this wave. Fuck this wave. Fuck the wave. You can't react, right? You don't have teleport.
Yeah.
Like
If I was there, it would have been so much better.
yeah,
And then I now jump in. No one's here
time
for
to
some reason.
engage. Yeah, so okay, this was the most troll thing you've done this game. Um Actually no, yeah, that engage there and then this engage here was just made no sense. Uh
Yeah.
you need to be thinking, not just seeing people in front of you and engaging.
Yeah.
Like it might work in solo queue where like people aren't coordinated so you can just get that pick and it's fine. But in a competitive environment where people aren't quite as stupid as they are in solo queue, those kinds of engages like don't just yeah, they lose you the game. So I'm done viewing it.
All right, bro.
So let's go over some of the early stuff. So in terms of your laning, I think you could have played this lane matchup a lot better. I think some matchups you do take Doran Shield in for sure, but I think against Jax, you can run the Doran's Ring. Again, that's more onto you. You're more comfortable with the champion. You understand that champion better than I do, so maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't think I am. You definitely take Grasp. That's not a debate. And then you just have to play around your abilities a lot better. Like this is just that's Maokai is not a champion that just like walks up in autos. He's not Jax.
Yeah.
He's not Tryndamere. You have to use your abilities, and you got to play around your abilities. So, I'm assuming if you hit Master playing Ornn and Maokai, you can at least play those champions. But I didn't see it in this game.
Yeah, no, sorry. Like this was a really bad game, which is why I wanted to go over it
Yeah,
because my laning phase was awful, and then I played. I just played. I didn't play any. I didn't play. I played anything at this at any point in this game. I don't think I
yeah.
played well.
And then I think here, if you're gonna, you have to just like you have to either commit to pushing this wave out, which you can't. So you just have to back and TP or just back and walk back. But like, this is a really dangerous spot for you, because Jack should just freeze it here, and he doesn't, because he's D3, and he thinks it's better to hard shove, which makes no sense. So you're actually in a really bad spot. You need to be thinking a bit further ahead of how your lane's gonna be. Um, and then that goes for everything. So it doesn't matter what champion you're playing, Ornn, Maokai, Mordekaiser. It doesn't matter the state of the game. You have to be thinking about what you want to do with your wave. So in this situation, the Jax is thinking of it wrong. He should say, okay, well, I've just got a free freeze here. Maokai has no way to escape a gank, really, besides trying to W out. Um, and he's got to push up all the way to here with no vision. So you have to go in through here and get vision, which I think you do, which is good from you. Um, yeah, you do. Okay. You need to be walking the safer route, though. Don't do it through lane. When you
Okay.
put this pink ward down, just go in through here. Because if you walk in like this and Hecarim is here, Jax has the inside track to you, right? If you go
Mhm.
in through here, you can escape this way, and Jax has to walk all the way. So,
Right.
if you're gonna drop this ward, just do it safe, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and I think Hecarim was setting up for a kill. Oh no, he didn't have mana, so you're probably fine. Like even if he was there, they would have been able to kill you. But it's the same principles. It's like it's all about the fundamentals here. If this is a different champion, this is a different champion, but you're in the same position, you die here, right? So it's
Yeah.
just you got to think about everything. So this is the proper way to get your vision down. Um, and then luckily he pushed it out. So when he was pushing it out, you should just let him push it out. Like there's no need for you to just walk up to get to melee a minion that's not even low. Um, and then just taking a shitty trade. Like I think you look like brain AFK here.
Yeah.
Like just Q the creep if you want it. But if you walk in like that to auto, he just engages on you. And yeah, you like disengage it with Q, but you can just be using your Q to poke, and he can't even trade.
Right.
So I think the same thing happens here. Like the wave is pushing into you. You can't trade into him because if you do, you'll get creep aggro. So just let the wave push instead of getting chunked like this for no reason. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's that. Lane management in terms of okay, if you want to freeze it, you want to put it here. This is like 90% of cases in early laning phase, you want it frozen because it makes them have to overextend to get farm. It makes it so you're safe to farm, and it makes it so it's easier for you to get ganks off. There are situations where you don't want it frozen if they're a ranged champion that can harass you.
Excuse me.
What's up?
And I was just saying, like, pardon me, because I was
Oh.
yawning.
Oh, okay, no worries. So if it's like a ranged champion like Teemo or Gnar and they can harass you under here, you don't necessarily want to freeze it because you can't. They'll just push it and harass you. Um, but most of the cases, you want to either get it frozen or you want to push it to their tower and harass them under their tower. There are going to be situations where you want to build up a slow push. More importantly, in competitive, if you've got a dive, like your bot lane's rotating top, and you want to get a dive off, then you want to slow push it. Or if your freeze is broken and you can't hard shove it because they'll just catch the wave or you just don't have the wave clear to do it, then you're just going to slow push it when you have a slow push, the wave is so huge it makes it harder for you to get ganked and harder for them to trade onto you. So it's a bit safer than just a fast push. Does that make sense? There's like 3 types of lane management here. There's fast push,
Yeah.
slow push, and freeze.
Mhm.
Okay? So think of it like that. Obviously, you can watch some videos that have more in-depth comments on it. I think Wicked has something. I don't know. You can look. But for the most part, like one of the biggest issues that top laners have at all levels is understanding of the lane. And if you get good lane control, like matchups that should be lost can be won, and you can just abuse matchups that you already win like a lot harder. And
Right.
then your early trading was just horrible, made no sense. So,
Yeah.
and I think your buys were also pretty bad. There's nothing wrong with getting double Dorans. I don't think you should be trying to just rush like a Ruby. Ruby is like such a bad buy, into this lane. Like just get a Doran's ring. It'll be 20 times more effective. And you don't need boots. Either get a cloth armor if you're trying to go for Ninja Tabby, because cloth is more effective, or go refillable potion and like a pink ward, which is probably better. So honestly, I don't like this first buy, and it just made it again so you couldn't do anything in lane. And luckily you get a kill here because Jax overextends, but you trade 1 for 1, so it's not even good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the
Yeah. I guess.
most of that is the early game. Here, you could have played around the lane management a bit better, but that's the same points here. Your engages, you need to be more mindful of where your teammates are. That's basic. You know that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to tell you that. And then here, if you don't have TP, you can't catch a wave when they have Baron. Um,
Yeah.
if you're like, if you think your team has the wave clear or something, and they say no, 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 you can catch the wave, that's different. Obviously, like you guys acknowledge that you should be there, but you think you can get away with it, then sure. But like, if you just see that situation and you're unsure what to do, you should just group,
Right.
or ask your team, and then you guys can decide what you want to do. In solo queue, you should just group. Um,
Okay.
cool. So, is there any questions or anything you wanted me to go over specifically about this game that I didn't already?
No, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Okay, no worries.
I don't know whether you're willing to like work more with me at all, or I
Well,
don't know
I
how
can
free you
do.
are, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. So, if you find another game, you can just talk to me. Like, I've got other people I've got to do VoD reviews for and stuff. So, let's say like maybe once a week at most. Just hit me up if you got a game you want to look over, and I'll tell you if I can do it or not.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
Next time I'll try grab a solo queue game, and
Either
also
either do a solo queue game or do a team game where like it's not a trial, because
yeah,
a lot of like your early, like your mid game and late game, a lot of that is just off of team play. And yeah, you mechanically fucked up the engages, but other than that, there's not much for me to say besides, okay, yeah, you just gotta hold Jax and look for a play. Like that's about all you got.
yeah. Sorry. And I'll try grab it. I'll try grab a game where like I think that I played well, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
then I think that you'll be able to pick out things that, because quite a lot of the things in this game,
Yeah, don't just pick a game where you're
aspects.
playing like ass, because you know the issues here. Like you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
you
yeah.
can
Like,
tell me
yeah,
don't engage when Zaya's here, right? Like you don't need me to tell you
yeah,
that.
yeah. Like most of the issues in this game were like ones that I knew myself in them like after I did them, and then also like when I was looking over the game myself. So next time I'll try pick a game where I'm really proud of myself and I think, wow, I've played really well this game, and then you can tear me to shreds and tell me that I'm
Yeah, you
shit.
can say, "Hey, I'm in elo hell," and then I can say, "Ha ha ha." No, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll try grab a game like that if
All
I
right.
can. All right. Thank you very much, though.
No worries.